the core stack group, or is this something more? Now that being said, he does love the Mario. Does great work with this character still. Just overall as a player, he's gotten so smart compared to how he started earlier, and then being already such an aggressively minded player. He's benefited so much from ultimate system changes. So Jett's gonna really need to tune up his zoning game to make sure this plumber doesn't get inside, because otherwise things will get very rough.
Yeah, his types will be cleaned. All the toilets in Dracula's castle will be pristine. Right now, Jett's been doing an alright job, but Prodigy still has just kind of been working his game a little bit, slowly trying to find an opening like this, and this is opportunity. Racks up 50+ damage on there.
That was actually really good DI by Jehtt. The fact that he managed to cross up Prodigy in the middle of that tower combo meant that he wouldn't be forced into an edge guard. And that's what Belmont's really terrified of, is being thrown off the stage, and like, if you lose your double jump off stage, you're just dead.
Yeah, there's
outright.
nothing that Belmont's can do. And right now he's in a rough situation. He still has to win, but Prodigy opting to charge up.
What a work!
Raiding.
Okay, I was kind of questioning that, because a runoff Nair could have taken care of Jehtt in that situation. But now this flood is actually going to make it so much harder for Jehtt to recover.
Yeah, having that extra charge, it's a little bit of a commitment, and you kind of have to create an opportunity to do so. But especially against characters like the Belmonts, it is such a worthwhile investment to take the time and charge it up.
I also like that Jett's not afraid to toss out this uppercut when pressure too. You know, he got that jab one and immediately escaped from it.
And he gets carried up by that up B from Prodigy.
So, guys, this is a lesson that just because we really love Pokemon Stadium 2 and how it makes us feel does not make it the most balanced stage in every matchup.
Exactly.
This is something that Mario can do on the stage. We saw Teb do it at Splat Bros to Fatality. This is a thing here.
Yes, all these platforms give him so much value, just being able to jump up and keep it up. And he's just racked up so much there. Right now, Jazz got to rework his game plan a little bit. That fireball countering his own up.
Still alive after all of that. Nice B reverse, being able to build up that space. I think Jett was planning on catching his landing right there.
Yeah, Jett expected a little more of that tilt coming through, going to seal it though.
Very, very solid control of his space. That was very non-committal option to keep him boxed in.
And that is a nice thing that the Belmonts have with those tilts. They keep so much range and apply so much pressure, but the thing against Mario is he can just jump so easily over any of these hitboxes, and he can just maneuver around each one that Jett throws out. Like, he controls so much space with that boomerang, axe, among other things, but they are slow, and they do leave opportunities for Prodigy to get in there.
Not only that, but he can fade in with a cape and reflect it at the same time.
Exactly.
But that being said, Jett's working on taking the second stock. He might not be out of the running quite yet. He's got himself.
I thought he was going to go for the up B again there.
Yeah, just barely out of range of the forward air. I think Jett was doing the cost calculation. Didn't want to whiff the up B and then be punished for it with the entire game, right?
Exactly. So he still is in this game now. Racking nice damage, nice air coming down. He's got his own little
Prodigy looking a little bit impatient, but there he does. Finds the back air, like you said, able to slide in so quickly on reactions to any of those projectiles being thrown. Especially because the cross is already out covering the horizontal. You see just the windup, you know nothing is going to cover the direct horizontal again.
And that's the very scary thing for the Belmonts against Mario. Mario is such a fast character. And yes, he does have the option to reflect. And yes, characters with reflectors are very good against the Belmonts by nature of having a reflector. But when you also have the option to just not go for the reflector and just weave it into your opponent's attacks and just punish them, it just makes it so much harder.
Oh yeah, very, very tough stuff. I mean, Mario's always been very well equipped as a character in zone breaking, just kind of, you know, through movement, which is very fitting for the character.
Yeah. Especially given how he's his most recent game, Odyssey. I mean, all his games have always been about movement. That's kind of what Nintendo's philosophy is with Mario.
It's their game. It's their philosophy across all their games. But we'll talk about more of that later.
So, Jett going to be taking it to FD, trying to give a fewer platforms for Prodigy to maneuver around with.
I mean, one of the big things is without those platforms, now Prodigy can't ceiling carry like he was doing earlier. And that makes a huge difference in terms of how much punishment Jett can take. Because that last game was actually pretty close, all things considered. Jett got laddered.
Exactly. The one thing we might see from Prodigy here is the fact that Jett no longer has the platforms to cover his top side. We will likely see some more vertical approaches coming from Prodigy as well. Trying to cross up Jett a little bit more, whereas when you have the platforms blocking the way, you can't cross up nearly as much.
Oh, and the Nair going to go ahead and beat out the cross. That's the other thing to know about the projectiles. They don't beat out any hitbox, right? Like, a lot of characters can just Nair right through both the cross and the axe.
Yes, makes it that much of a more difficult time to get through.
I like that attempt by Prodigy to try to read like a jump by Jett at a shield, but Jett also just stayed firm, held in his shield, and managed to get that punish.
Yeah, and Jett's been doing a nice job maneuvering across the stage and making that space that he needs to get, making the game much more difficult for Prodigy. Jehtt opting to just not commit there. Warns for these tilts.
He's expecting Prodigy to be a little bit more impatient about piercing his zone than Prodigy actually is. Which, I mean, that's really just speaking well to Prodigy's patience, because Jehtt is doing a great job of like throwing out so many scary, safe punishes for that type of play.
And when you're against the Belmonts, that's what a lot of players end up doing. They take these panic options, but that Gimp there coming through from Jehtt. Narrowly hit him.
I didn't actually see what ended up catching him.
I thought it was a fire, but maybe I might have missed that as well. So it looked like it was either a fire though. One of the holy water rather. So now Jehtt has a firm lead. Prodigy still can get the kill very easily, but he has to get in first. And when you do not have the lead against the Belmonts, that's when it comes scary.
I thought that was going to be an up air. Like I was terrified for Prodigy,
God.
but Jett's doing a great job riding this lead. Like he now Prodigy is getting a little bit antsy about closing out the stock, and he's playing the way that Jehtt wanted him to be playing in the previous stock, right? And he's been finding so many longer extended punishes because of that. And I think that's going to keep going into this next stock too, because there's the same percent deficit.
And that's what we've seen from Jehtt, even in Smash 4. He just always wanted you to play the game the way he wanted to play it. And he was a very adept player at making that happen. As we see right here, it's carried over.
Yeah.
Just whipping it. Does not have to commit super hard, but Prodigy gets his combo off. Does not have his jump anymore. Jehtt is in a... Oh, he did have his jump. Okay. I thought he lost it.
Yeah, he's managed to dive back on stage, and no fear in the corner. Going to just zone break out with the down tilt.
Dive kick, a great way to break through your opponent's zone of control.
Jett's doing such a good job of mixing up his zoning options. Like that is, being able to shuffle between those seamlessly as a player is not easy to do.
Oh, but that's going to do it. Prodigy mixing up the fireball there.
Yeah.
The first time Jehtt recovered, he threw one fireball down, and Jehtt was able to dodge it pretty soundly. That time, Jehtt dodged the first fireball, but Prodigy threw out a second one. Kind of throwing Jehtt off a little bit there.
I mean, there was, if you think about it, it wasn't so much the throw off as much as Prodigy was in position to throw out a second one.
Yeah, his spacing from the ledge was a lot better too.
There was no way then after the first dodge for you to get away from the second one. Like you have made yourself vulnerable for the rest of your recovery.
Air dodge is gonna kill him though.
That was I was assuming that was like a buffer DI down shield, but instead you get yourself air dodging straight down and dying.
And that's what happens sometimes against these projectile characters as well. If you are near the ledge, you have to be careful about your shielding and make sure you shield earlier rather than later, just because input shield too late, you get hit and you buffered air dodge.
Well, yeah, you have to be like wary of like tapping shield and stuff. Yeah. At the very least, be careful about holding shield in a direction.
Exactly. Thought Jehtt might have gone for the carry there, but he is very cautious of Prodigy and does not want to get carried off.
Prodigy cooling down himself quite a bit now. We're seeing the cape come out a lot more against the cross.
Oh, Jehtt using that zoning tool. He threw the boomerang in the opposite direction, hoping to catch Prodigy off, and Prodigy seemed to be aware of it.
Yeah, he tried to then zone break to like pass him to cross him up, but then Prodigy just stayed in place, finds the forward smash right afterwards on that landing, and cleans up the set. But Jehtt doing a fantastic job, especially that first game comeback by Jehtt. Like I was worried that was going to end up like being a really nasty game one situation, but Jehtt already picked up the adaptation right afterwards. Barely lost that one, and then still made the second one look mostly in his favor for almost the entire duration.